The following program is a SUTV student production. The views expressed are not necessarily those of Salisbury University, the University System of Maryland, its regents, administration, officers, employees, or representatives.
Hello everyone, welcome to Delmarva Salutes, a show covering Salisbury's military and veteran communities. I'm Kristen Wolf.
And I'm Ricardo Bailey. There is no denying that both past and current soldiers are faced with their fair share of hardships from war. But what about those who aren't necessarily on the front lines of battle?
Like soldiers, military healthcare personnel face high risks when they are enlisted and come home with their own obstacles to face. I had the chance to find out more about why these former medics and nurses are coming home mentally damaged. According to the American Association of Colleagues of Nursing, as of 2008, 37.8% of registered nurses worked in areas other than a hospital. Salisbury University nursing student Kayla O'Neill says she is interested in working as a military nurse.
I want to do something along the emergency line, so emergency nursing, ICU nursing, even military nursing would give me a chance to travel.
Resources are given to students like Emily Bender, who says she wants to be involved in the military.
Going through ROTC, it's a lot easier for me to get active duty, and they gave me a scholarship, so they're paying for my school because they really need nurses.
Although nursing students today may choose to pursue their career in the military, some drafted in the past, like Vietnam War veteran Dean Peterson, were forced to become medics.
I didn't like the idea that, okay, they're taking me over there and you're putting me in harm's way, but then I'm going to be responsible for somebody else's possible demise.
The Department of Defense reports the Vietnam War accounted for 58,220 deaths. Peterson coped with this war by creating art. He explains what his sculpture represents.
Kind of used you up, and that's what's left is this sort of essence of a spirit, that's still there, but it's been worked over.
The Vietnam War ended in 1975, yet medics are still finding ways to cope with their problems. For Peterson, in an art form. In Salisbury, I'm Kristen Wolf reporting. Dean Peterson was drafted in the military as a medic because he had a college degree. He is now an art professor at Salisbury University.
According to the Center of Disease Control, the number of people diagnosed with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder has increased from 9.5% in 2007 to 11% in 2011. Delmarva Salutes reporter Ray Becker examines how the learning disorder affects those trying to enter the Air Force.
Bay Bridge Airport is the home of Chesapeake Sport Pilot. It is a place where people learn to fly, proving that they have what it takes to become a pilot. For Salisbury student Tommy Hart, it is the place where his dream to join the Air Force was born.
He gave me the stick and I was able to do it myself, and that's probably the point in my life where I knew that's what I wanted to do.
Hart's dream was soon sidelined after the Federal Aviation Administration, or FAA, learned of his diagnosis with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD. He was prevented from becoming a pilot until he could prove that he could function without medication.
So that I can continue with my pilot's license, I have to present to the FAA my transcript when I was on Adderall and when I was off Adderall.
Clinical counselor Dr. Mark Todd says that it may be hard for those with ADHD to overcome their diagnosis, but it is possible.
People with ADHD can really focus on some areas, particularly areas of interest. So, for example, if someone really loves to fly, they might not have any difficulty regulating their attention.
Kriska Schwetner, a mechanic at Chesapeake Sport Pilot, says being able to focus while flying is a matter of life and death.
Whenever you're driving in a car, you just follow the road and you can almost go on autopilot. With an airplane, if you do that, it'll kill you.
Hart's dream of joining the Air Force has temporarily been put on hold. However, he still looks forward to flying solo one day and leaving his ADHD far behind him, a distant speck left on the runway. In Kent Island, I'm Ray Becker, reporting.
Hart hopes to complete the final phase of getting his license, the solo flight, within the next couple of years.
Friends and family members can have a difficult time sending their soldiers off to war.
When we come back, we talk about how the loved ones of these troops are staying positive, as well as what is being done to support them on their journey. Stay with us.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right into your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does. And like that, you're a job creator.
Welcome back to Delmarva Salutes. It is never easy when it comes time for a loved one to deploy for war. Delmarva Salutes reporter JT Landon had the opportunity to talk with two sisters about the emotional process of deployment.
Preparation is key when it comes to the deployment process for any family's loved one about to leave for the military service. Lindsay Herr, a graduate student here at Salisbury University, tells us about her experience with the first months of her younger brother leaving for the United States Marine Corps.
First month or so, I was always upset and I would worry and I wouldn't sleep. But once we got letters, I felt better each time I got a letter.
Letters helped Lindsay get through this emotional process. While most of the letters consist of how her day was, she said you can't always say exactly how you feel or what you feel.
You have to stay positive and you have to motivate them in all letters, and you can't say, I wish you were home. You just have to stay very positive, send lots of quotes.
Her is new to this process and know it's going to take time as her brother returns to basic training this week. For Jen Carrillo, this has become a lifestyle, with her twin brother in the U.S. Army who has recently been deployed to Afghanistan.
It's been tough, especially because of all the bad things you hear about. Certain parts of Afghanistan are pretty bad, and documentaries that you hear about it. But he flies, so he likes to do that. He enjoys doing that.
Carrillo tells us it's difficult to communicate with not only the large time difference, but with the restriction of only being able to receive calls from him.
Since he's been deployed, we haven't really talked as much, but when we do talk, it makes it special.
The process of deployment is never easy. Staying positive, motivated, and trying to keep communication as best as you can are just few of the many techniques to help through this process. In Salisbury, I'm JT Landon, reporting.
Both her and Carrillo encourage others in their situation to stay positive and keep motivated.
Just recently, the organization Operation We Care held an event to show their support for troops and their families. Reporter Jacob Matthias found out how this special organization is reminding soldiers everywhere who they are fighting for.
Family members of foreign and current military personnel have embraced the help of organizations like Operation We Care to better show their support for the troops as well as receive support. Judith Andrews, whose fiancé served in Vietnam, explains how it is much more difficult for families due to the lack of communication.
There wasn't the ability to just pick up the phone and call them, or Skype, or email, or anything like that. We sent a letter through the mail and hoped that it got there, and then wait for another one to come back.
H. George Jackson, a volunteer for Operation We Care, provides more insight on why it's important to support the troops as well as the families.
Well, the families get the satisfaction of knowing that their loved ones know that back home they're hunting for ways to show they really care.
The mother of an Afghanistan war vet, Juanita Romer, tells us about the FRG, a military program that assists and supports deployed military personnel and their families.
It's a family readiness group, and just any questions you have, and they would send you emails, keep you up to date. If anything happened over there, they would, as soon as they found out, they would let us know.
Military families today can count on greatly improved communications and support that did not exist for families during the Vietnam War. In Salisbury, I'm Jacob Matthias, reporting.
Each branch of the military has their own family readiness group, and family members are encouraged to reach out to their respective group for assistance.
At times, it can be difficult for the voice of a disabled veteran to be heard.
When we come back, we take a look at what is being done locally to make veterans' lives a little easier. Stay with us.
it's harder whenever there's a bigger group. Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against the wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
Thousands of veterans return from active duty with mental disabilities, but what sometimes is not talked about are the physical impairments some of these vets are left to cope with after war. As Delmarva Salutes reporter Stephen Graves reports, there are many issues to fix, but the local Salisbury community is lending a hand to those vets in need.
I could only close it about that far.
Vietnam War veteran James Summers explains how he became physically disabled during active duty. After losing a leg and a hand to gangrene infection, Summers now attends monthly appointments at the local VA clinic. Although he's overall pleased with service, he says there are still some frustrations.
You don't have enough doctors and nurses to go around. For the veterans, that back then it wasn't bad, but now it's a different program.
Here in Salisbury, community leaders say not only is staffing in these clinics important, but accessibility as well.
The VA is a good drive away, and we're lucky that we're relatively close to Walter Reed, but again, it's relatively close. So we've got to backfill.
That help is exactly what the nonprofit Holly Community Incorporated provides disabled veterans with. This Salisbury organization houses utilities that help impaired vets go about daily life after war. As you can see, I'm holding two keyboards. The one on the top is a regular keyboard. The one on the bottom is actually a modified keyboard, 60% smaller, helping veterans like Summers who are impaired utilize technology.
You get this person a ramp, or you get this person this device to communicate, and it's like these doors and this whole new world has opened up for them. And it's very gratifying.
A new world that makes the outside frustrations a little easier to deal with. In Salisbury, this is Stephen Graves reporting.
The local VA clinics are located in Cambridge and Pocomoke City for any disabled veteran in need of services.
That's Delmarva Salutes. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ricardo Bailey.
And I am Kristen Wolf. This is our last show. We hope you've enjoyed learning more about our local soldiers and the issues facing our veterans. Have a happy holiday.